Welcome to this video. My name is Hussein. So recently, while I was working on a Node.js project, I needed to allow users upload videos, upload images rather to the server, and also add watermarks to those images once it's uploaded. So I did a little research on how to achieve that, and then I came upon Cloudinary. So in this video, I'll be showing us how to go about that, how to create applications that um, allows users to upload images and also add watermarks to those images. So we'll be writing Node.js projects basically. So let me just run us through some of the tools we'll be using. So of course it's a Node.js project, so you need to have Node.js installed. If you don't, you go to this address nodejs.org and then download this latest stable version. Then also we'll be using Postman. Postman is an HTTP client that allows you make HTTP calls. So we'll be using it to test our endpoints. Then I'll be using Visual Studio Code for this. You can use any text editor really. If you want to use Visual Studio Code, you can just go to code.visualstudio.com/download and then download that. Also, we'll be using Multer for Node.js to do the upload. So Multer allows us upload files. So in this particular video, we'll be using Multer to upload our images to our server, and then we'll send those images to Cloudinary that allows us optimize it and then add watermarks. So you need to have a Cloudinary account, so you can go ahead and sign up. So let's just get started. I'll open my code editor. So I already created a folder. It's called Clouder. It's empty. It's an empty folder. What I'll do is to just get started. So if you need to know if you have Node.js installed, what you need to do is to say node-v, node-v. Then you see the Node version. Node also comes with Node.js also comes with npm. So if you go npm-v, you see the version of npm that you have installed. So the first thing I'll do is to initialize a new Node.js project. So what I'll do is npm init. Then I use the -y flag, so I don't need to answer a bunch of questions. So what that does for me is to create a package.json file. Then you can see that package.json file here. The only changes I'll make to this right now is to change the entry point, the main here, which is the entry point. I want to change it to app.js, and I should create that file here. So let me create that app.js. Right, so right now we'll install all of the packages we need. So I'll go npm I, I'll install Express, I'll install Cloudinary, if I can spell that right. Then I also install Multer. Then I'll install .env. Okay, so let's get that installed. So while that is installing, just run us through how to create a server. So let's just quickly create a server here. So these are app.js. What I'll do is to say const express equals require express. So that is actually complete. So you can see it has a node modules folder here. So we are requiring all of those dependencies in our project now. So I have express, then let me initiate it. So const app equals express, and then app.listen takes. So at this point, because I'll have a .env file where I'll put the port, so I can go process.env and I'll call it port or let's use port 5000. Then a callback, and then the callback would have basically, I'm using an arrow function here. So in the callback, I just want to log to the console. So we'll just say console.log. Use the template literal here so I can add variable. So we'll say server started on port. Then I'll use this to process. So I'm adding a variable here. Process.env.output or let it start at 5,000. Right. So what that does for us is to create the Express server for us. So we can go ahead and test that out. So if I go to the package.json and then I want to change the script here. So let me change this to start. Okay, I think before I do that, let me install one dev dependency here. It's called NodeMon. So it checks and restarts our server every time we make a change. So what I'll do is to say npm install NodeMon. Since it's a dev dependency, I'll go save dev. So that should install NodeMon. I'll just wait for that to complete before editing the package.json file. Okay, so like I was saying, so NodeMon allows us just restart the server. So it checks our application each time for changes, and the moment there's a change, it restarts the server. So we don't have to keep stopping and starting the server each time we make a change. So that's done now. You see there's dev dependency in NodeMon. So here I'll do a start script to do NodeMon app.js. Okay, so whenever I run npm start, it runs this, and I'll just do that right now. So go npm start, then we see server started on port 5000. So it's using port 5000 because we don't have the ports here. And then let me just get that set up. So remember we installed .env. So what I'll do is to require it. So const .env. So you see each time I make a change, how NodeMon is restarting the server for us. So okay. So .env equals, as I'm showing, require .env. Okay. And then we also need to configure it. So I'll just come below it and say .env.config, like so. So that, just like that, it allows us to use environmental variables. So I'll come here and create a new file. I'll just call it .env. Then inside my .env, you notice I called this port. So I'll just copy that and then use the port. So my port will be, let me use 4000. Okay. So save that. So let me restart the server, and then now you should see server started on port 4000. So it's now using the environmental variable. Okay, that is great. So let's start by using Multer to upload images. So the first thing I'll do here is first of all to require Multer. So if it comes Multer equals require Multer, okay. So I just required Multer. So if you look at the documentation for Multer, see the first thing you need to do is to create a disk storage. Where is that? So we need to create a disk storage. Yeah, that is it. So I'll just copy that. By the way, you can just check npm.js for Multer. Okay, so come down here and then we convert this to ES6 quickly because using ES6 syntax. So I have that. So this is this disk storage. It takes in, so Multer does disk storage, and then taking the destination. Destination would be where do you want the images to be saved. The moment the user clicks on upload, where on your server do you want the images to be saved. For this case, I'll just put a path here. So I'll just use string and say you want them saved in a folder called uploads, which is in the root directory. So immediately, see while I was typing, it creates the folder for us. So the moment I type U and save, it created that folder. I'll just delete that. So every image uploaded by the users will be saved in this upload folder. Then the second um, property here will be the file name. So what name would the images be saved with? So for this one, this is the kind of format I want to use. I want the images to have, first of all, the field name. The field name will be the image of the input from your client, from either if it's a web app, the input file, the input tag rather, the name it has. So I want it to start with that. So it could be, if the name was image, it could be something like image. Then I want to have a dash, then a timestamp. Timestamp could just anything, and then the extension maybe .jpg. So this is the kind of format I want the image to have. So we'll define that here in the file name. So the file name takes a function. Let me quickly convert this to ex6. So it takes a function that has the request, the file itself, this is the file that's been uploaded, and then a callback. So then we'll call the callback, and then this is where we get to define what the name should be. So the first thing is the file.field name. So this field name here is the name of the input. So something like this, it could be image, it could be picture, it could be anything that the front-end person has named it. So the next thing would be, okay, because I'm using ES6, I don't want to concatenate this way, so I'm going to use template literals to do this. So I'm going to have it like this. Do it this way. So the file name and the feed name dash the dates. So that would be like the timestamp. Then .jpg, right? So the extension. So I need the extension. I need to get the extension from this. Now, to get the extension, the file itself has an original name. So I need to extract the extension from the original name of the file. So if it was originally .jpg, I need to make it .jpg. If it's .png, I need to make this name .png. So the way we do that is to import path. So path is a core Node.js module. It comes with Node.js. That's why we didn't have to do npm install path. So we just do that like that. Then I use path to extract the extension. So we're doing a variable here. So we do path. It has a method called ext name. So I'll pass the original name of the file here. So file.original name, you can see. So file.original name. So this would give me the extension. To extract the extension of the actual image here. So we can have something like, okay, I want just a single data here. So we can have something in this format. So that creates a storage. Now, the next thing is to create the upload. I can take this off. Is to do the upload. If you check the Flutter documentation, the next thing will be to create the upload. So let's just use that. Do that. I'd like to break this into several lines. Okay. So the upload takes the storage, which is the storage we created here. So since they're both the same name, I can just take this off, which is still the same, using ES6. So the next thing the upload takes is the okay, yeah. So the upload takes also not just the storage but also the limit. So it should declare the limit. The limit basically says what is the largest file size you want, the limit of the file size you want. So the user will not be able to upload any image that is above this limit that you're setting. So for this case, I would set the limit to the largest file size to, let's say, 5 megabytes. So the way I'll do that is to say file size, passing an object file size, and then I'll enter the file size. So I want 5 megabytes to do it. I could just do it like 1024 times 1024 times 5. So that will be 5 megabytes. Alright, so that's for the limit. The third thing I'll pass here. Why that? Okay, let's just. The third thing I'll pass here is the file filter. Now the reason I'm doing the file filter is I want to validate that whatever the user is uploading is actually an image. It's actually an image, either a JPEG or a PNG or a GIF, an actual image. So not a JSON or any other file. So I need to validate that this file is an image. So the way I'll do that is to pass in a function to file filter. It carries 3 parameters, which is the request, the file, and the callback, just like we had up here. So it's a function, so I'll use an arrow function for that. Okay, so since we have that, now what I want to do is I need to declare the kind of file that I want that are accepted by our server. So what kind of file format should be accepted? So I need to define that. So what I'll do, I'll say const, let me call it, let's say accepted file, accepted format, anyone. Okay, let's see accepted format. Accepted format will be, I use a regular expression here. So regular expression starts like this. So we want a JPG, or if it's a PNG, or if it's a GIF, or what other formats do we have? A JPEG, PEG, like this. I've seen some images in this format. So if it's any of these 4 formats, then we should allow it upload. If not, then it shouldn't. So we have defined that. So now we need to test to see if what the user has uploaded is actually. So let's check the extension of the file the user has uploaded and check if it matches any of these extensions we have. So the way we do that is to see, I'll call it to the variable, I'll call it file extension. So let's say file extension would be, now we want to test, so we use the accepted format, which is the regular expression, then we use JavaScript to test. So JavaScript.test carries accepts an argument here, which is what you're testing against. So we want the extension of the file, of the original file. So what we do is to use the same path. In fact, I think I'll just copy this. So just copy this, because this is the extension itself. So it would take the extension. The only thing I'll do is to make it lowercase. So just in case the extension is capitalized. Okay, so we have this. So this would check this dot test. This would test this the extension of the image against these defined extensions that we have. So it will return either true or false. So file extension could be either true or false. Now I also want to check the MIME type, because there could be scenarios that I'm trying to prevent a scenario where a user just takes a JSON file, renames it to .jpg, and then upload. Because if you do that, this test will pass as true, because the extension is actually JPG, which is accepted here. But then the original file is actually a JSON. We don't want JSON on our server. So I need to test the MIME type. So the way I'll do that is to say const, what do I call it now? The file MIME. Let me call it file MIME. MIME. So I say the file MIME will be, now I want to test the MIME type against our accepted file. So this file object also, aside having original name, it also has a property called MIME type. So I'll test that property, that MIME type property, against our regular expression. So the way I'll do that is to say accepted format.test. Then I'll pass in our file.MIME type. Yeah. So that tests if the MIME type is one of our regular expressions. So this could be either true or false as well. Now I can now check if file extension is true, and the file man is also true. So if both of them are true, then I want to run the callback. Remember, we'll pass the callback here. I want to run the callback, passing null. The first argument of the callback is for error. So if there's any error, I'll pass it there. So if it is true, then that means there's no error. We are good. We can allow it to upload. So pass null, and then pass true to say it is successful, or it should be allowed to upload. So else, meaning if it's not, we call it in callback. So this time around there's an error, so we pass in an error message here, say something like invalid image type. So try again or something. Then we pass in false, so it does not allow that upload. So that configures the upload. The next thing we'll do is to define if it's a single or a multi-upload. For this case, we want a single upload. If you want a multiple upload, you want just be able to upload multiple images at once. So what you would pass here would be array. But for this case, just one image per upload. So I use single. So and then here you pass in the file name. Remember the name of the field name, the name of the input field, whatever it was called, you need to pass it here. So in this case, I'll call it, let me use image clouder. Let me use clouder. That's the name of our application. Anyway, it doesn't have to be the name of the application. In fact, it could be image, anything. It could be picture. Just so long when you're sending in the image, this is the field name. All right. So having done that, we need to create a route now to allow uploads. So let me just quickly create a route. Let me test it. Let me create a get route. Get route to slash. This is all Node.js stuff. So require request and response. And then here, let me respond with JSON that says hello and hi. So I'm going to, what's that? What did I just do? Okay. So I want to test this endpoint. Let me send a get request to slash, and then I'm expecting this response. So to do that, I'll just open up my Postman. Okay, I already started it, but I would prefer it. Okay, so Postman is up. What's our server? Okay, 4,000. Sorry, localhost 4,000. So making a request to HTTP localhost 4,000. Right? Okay, so the get request, so I send it, and then we get a response, hello, hi. So our server works fine. Okay, good. So now let's do the upload. So the route, the endpoint for the upload will be a post request, because we're sending a post request to the server. So we send a post request to something like /uploads, yeah, like uploads like that, and then we expect the response. Now the upload variable that we've created here, this is where we get to use it. So once a user sends in a file, we come here and then use that upload function. So the way it works is it accepts 3 parameters: a request, a response, and then a callback function. So the callback function takes in an error, using an arrow function here. So it takes in an error. Then we want to check if there is any error. Just send back a response. So just return res.json. Let's just say send a message back to the user and say image could not be uploaded, right? Image could not be uploaded. You can put any text here, and then let's send that error back, error, or let me call it error, and then error. Okay, so that would do that. If it actually uploads, let's just get the results, right? So just in case if the file actually upload. So the way we check that is okay, guys, I just remember something. So when we are including Cloudinary, we've not even include okay, we're testing for Multer first. So let's test for Multer and see before we get to the Cloudinary part. So if it actually uploads, if there's an error rather, then it should say that. But if there isn't an error, let's just respond with maybe whatever it returns to us, right? So res.json. So just give us request.file. Okay. So if there's no error, this is what we're expecting back. Okay, let's test this out and see what happens. So I'll bring up my Postman. We're sending a post request to /uploads. Don't forget, is it clearer? Uploads, yes. Okay, so and then in the body, I'm going to be using now this is the field name in Postman. So what did I call this field name? Image. Control C. So we call it image, and then we're uploading a file, so not text. So here I'll choose a picture. Let me choose this, yes. Okay. Now notice our upload folder is currently empty. So the moment I hit send, so notice it sends back the field name, which is image, the original name, which is the actual name of the file on my machine, the MIME type, destination, the file name now, which is what we defined, and then the path. So if you go back here and then you see the upload folder, it now has this image. It's called image dash, which is the field name dash, the timestamp, then the extension. So that tells us that the upload was successful. So yeah, we've been able to do the upload. The next step will now be to send it up to Cloudinary for optimization and all of the watermark thing. So to do that, we need to bring in Cloudinary first of all. So I'll say const Cloudinary equals require Cloudinary. Now, what we're requiring is actually version 2 of Cloudinary. Okay, so once we have the image, we have it on our local file, and then we have res.file, right? So it has been uploaded. At this point, we need to send it to Cloudinary. The way we do that is to say Cloudinary, which we just required now, dot upload. Quite a mouthful. So what that does is it's a function that has it takes in at least 2 parameters. You can take in more, which we'll see later. So the first one is the actual image which you are sending. Now you notice when we logged out, or when we sent back request.file, it gave us the path to the image, which is upload / then the name. So we need this path to send to Cloudinary. So the way we get that is say request.file.path, since it's an object, because the file is an object. So this is the image itself, and then second argument will be a callback function, at least for now. So sending the callback function, your callback function has an error and a result. Error and a result. Okay, so before we even get it, we need to configure Cloudinary, right? We need to configure Cloudinary. I told you guys about the API keys and everything, so we're yet to do that. So what we'll do is we'll come up here and let me configure Cloudinary here. So say configure Cloudinary. So the way we do that is just use the Cloudinary that we've brought in and say config. So its function takes in an object. So the first thing it takes is a cloud name. Show us where this cloud name takes in the API key, API underscore key, and then it takes in the API secret. So API underscore secret. So I'll just go get all of those credentials. So you log into your Cloudinary account. Oh boy, my internet just went off. Alright, let me get my internet up and running. Okay guys, sorry about that, my internet went off on me. So this is my Cloudinary account. I just logged in. You need to create an account if you don't have one. Okay, so here is the credentials. So what I need is the cloud name. Alright, so I'll come to my application. Now in an env file we create those. So I can go cloud name, cloud underscore name, or you can just call it anything. Let me call it name. So name equals, so that's the name. What else? The key. So key is that, and then the secret. So as the name implies, it's a secret. So and I'm still using that account. So what I'll do is I'll pause this video and then enter the secret, and then I'll come back to continue. Alright, so I've entered my key, secret, and the name in the .env file. So I'm going to bring that in here. So the way you do that, say process.env.name. Remember I called it name there. For the key, I called it key. So process.env.key. And then for the app secret, I call it secret. So it will be process.env.secret. Remember, you should have commas. Okay, so that configures Cloudinary. So we can then continue here. So what we need to do, since we have the error and results, so we need to check if there are any errors. So if there's any error, what we do is to let's just send a message back. Say return res.json and say what are we saying here? Just send a message and say could not upload or something. Like spell that, could not upload image. Try again. Don't upload the image to cloud because we actually upload it to our local server. Try again. Yes. Okay, so that's if there's an error, but if there isn't an error, we will need to let's just see what we have. So res.json result, right? So if there's no error, you should see result on the screen. I'll delete this one, and then let's try to, okay, that's on Postman. So let's try to upload this time around. So you know, when we uploaded to our local server, this was the response we got. So now I'm going to do the same thing, send. And now this is the response we get. So this is um, the response from Cloudinary, you can see it has a URL to the image on Cloudinary. If I should click that and send, you see it's the same image. Now if I go to my Cloudinary dashboard and then I click on this, so you see the image is there. So this part was initially empty and now the image is here. Okay. Yeah. So we've been able to successfully upload to Cloudinary. Also, we have our image here as well. So after uploading to Cloudinary, we still have it here. We need to delete this one. So if it uploads to Cloudinary, let this one get deleted. So we can't keep manually. I'll delete this one now, but we can't keep manually deleting. So what we do is to use the file system in Node.js to delete. So what we need to do is to say const fs. Fs is also a core Node.js module, just like path. So we require fs file system. So once that is done, it should delete the file. So to do that, say fs.onLinkSync. So once you're on LinkSync, then you pass in the file path, just like what we have here. So the path to the file should delete. So that should get it deleted. If I do that again, now notice upload is empty. If I do that again, let me we're making a request to it. Okay, look out for that. So if I send it again the second time, we get a response on our Cloudinary dashboard. If I refresh this, you see the same image. Then on our local server, you notice upload is still empty. If I refresh, upload is still empty because it has deleted it. Okay, so we've been able to upload to the cloud. The next thing we need to do now is to add a watermark to it. So what I'll be doing is I need to add a watermark to every image that's uploaded, maybe like my logo or the company logo or something. To do that, I need to upload the watermark itself, the actual image that I'll be using as watermark. So let me just choose an image here. I'll go to the desktop. So let me use this one. So I'll upload this image to the cloud. Waiting for a response. Now we have a response. So that is the image. Okay. So the next thing I need to do to add a watermark is to pass another parameter here, an object. So this is the second parameter before the callback function. So I pass in an object here, and then I pass that the object the effect. We pass an effect. Use effect. Okay. We pass in an effect, and the effect we want here is an overlay, which is the watermark. So pass in an overlay. Then, so what do we want to use as the overlay? Should be the next thing. So that should be in the overlay, and then we'll pass in the name of the image we want to use as overlay. Now you notice when we uploaded this, it has a name, so we can just copy that name. So this is the image we want to use as overlay. So we can copy that and then paste. Okay, so we have that. The next thing will be we need to set a radius, because this is not compulsory, come on. So I want this overlay to be rounded, like fully round. So I'll set max. This is like setting border radius 50% in the web development. So I can set a width and a height. I want it to be 150 by 150, maybe 150. Then height, HEIGHT, 150, like so. Then I need to set an opacity. So I'll use 100 for that. And then let me set the crop. Set it to scale. Okay, it should be a string. Okay. So there are several other properties you can set here. You can set the X and the Y to figure out the position. Okay, but that done, maybe we should just return a better response here. or we can leave it as so. Okay, so let's test this out. I'll come here. Let me select an image, another image. Let me use this. Open. So when I send it, wait for a response. Now we have our response with a link to the image. So when I click on it and then send, so you see our watermark there, right in the middle, because we didn't set X and Y. If I go to my Cloudinary dashboard and I refresh, so we see the image there with the overlay. So if I'm to want to position where the overlay should be, so I have to set an X for, this is something you play around with. Set X for 100 and maybe set Y for 300. So you play around with this thing and you get to get in the figure that a number that suits you. So with that, let me do this one more time. So okay, so I want to, yep. So let me use another image. Where's that image? Let me use picture. Let me use this one. So guys, this is the image I just used. See, it's this, and then I send. We wait for a response. Now we have a response. Click on that, send. Our overlay is really going out of the screen. What did I use? So our Y is obviously good. Okay, so let me use maybe just 30. So like I said, it's something you play around with to get something that will suit you. So let's do that once more. Choose another image. Let me use the one on the desktop. Take this one. Send. Wait for a response. We have a response. Click on that. Then send. And you have the image. So basically, you see that that works. So you refresh this, and then you see your image, and then you have the links, that are available. And if I take this link and I go to my browser, so all of the images, once they are uploaded, once the images are uploaded, are immediately optimized, and every form of transformation you apply to it is immediately shown. So guys, that's how you get to do this. I hope you learned something. Thank you guys.